I had a day where my body just went against me. Things were vibrating. My body was just electric. I couldn't keep my fingers still. They were just doing this. This is me doing this. My hands are good. This is me simulating. And I was scared to death. I didn't know what was going on. I took it very stoically at first, but I did not crumble. I did not weep. I just was like, okay, what do we do now? That was what I wanted to know. And I actually told somebody, okay, I have Parkinson's. It's not going to kill me, but I'm going to have to deal with it. And I think that's my attitude, is that it's not going to kill me, but I have to deal with it. I think it's really strange because I thought there was no way I did have it because of the other doctor. And then to have it, it was a little confusing at the time. A little, well, which is it? Yes or no? And you don't want to believe that you have it. So not being able to go to work, not being able to do things for myself, it wasn't fun.
I'm Dan Metcalfe. Thank you for tuning into the Born SuperHuman podcast. I'm so proud of the guests and stories that we bring to you, and I know that you'll enjoy what we have ahead. Please like, subscribe, and follow. It really makes a huge difference in our ability to continue these conversations being brought to you. And if you feel the passion behind Born SuperHuman, please share it with your friends and family and leave a comment. I read every one. Now, let's get on with the show. Hi, welcome to Born SuperHuman. Today I have a very special guest with me. She was diagnosed with Parkinson's, but did not allow that to affect and become a chapter of her life that took over the whole book. We're going to go through a number of different protocols. What was the difference between her journey and a journey that so many people don't want to take? So with that being said, so proud to welcome in here Carisa Stempert.
Hi, Dan. It's so great to be here. Thank you for having me.
I'm really excited for your journey and the inspiration you are to not just a few people, but to millions of people, showing how amazing you are and how our approach to a challenge changes. But before we get into that, tell us about you as a little girl. Tell us about you growing up.
Pretty normal suburban childhood. I got strep throat every single year. I don't know why. So that still lives within me somewhere. So I don't like to think about that because I don't want strep throat again. But growing up, yeah, very, very normal. Girl Scouts. Went to 4-year college. Studied Russian. Lived in the Soviet Union for 4.5 months as an exchange student. And other than that, other traveling, love it. It's probably my favorite thing in the whole world to do is travel. But
Yeah, so as a young girl, did you dance? What was your passion? What was your goal? What did you envision your life to be? What was your dreams?
I don't know if I can recall. No firefighter fantasies or anything like that. I did take dance, as many little girls do, ballet and tap. I was average at it, I guess, but I enjoyed it. I think my traveling and languages were my things that I like to do the most. I studied Russian, German, Italian. Is that it? I think that's it. And like I said, lived in the Soviet Union for a while as an exchange student.
So, with that being said, was it a fun childhood? Were you out playing a lot, or did you find you more
Oh,
of a book studier?
gosh. Oh, I was a good student, but yeah, I was never always study. I did well, just kind of easily, naturally. We played outside a lot. We had a pool. I spent most of the summer being waterlogged. The house my mom lives in, she still lives there. There were woods behind the house. We would make forts and ride our bikes and get poison ivy and just spend all our time outdoors. It's the typical, when you see the street light come on, you come home in the summer. The pool was the best though. My dad put in a pool right away and we just spent every hot hour in there that we could. I'm not very athletically inclined. very average, but I do some running. And that's, I used to be a gym rat for a while, but that's not my thing either.
Yeah, it sounds like you had what we envision to be almost on like a Hallmark type of movie of just the great family. It's almost like the Waltons, where you go out there, have, a fun upbringing, and you're a child. You're a child growing up in a great environment of nature and just living life.
Yeah, it was a very good childhood. Back to your question of what I wanted to do. I think it's sad. I can't really remember anything that I really wanted to do. I just went to school to go to school. I did well, and it's a little shameful to think of that right now. But we are where we are because of what we did, and I can't complain at my outcome now because I'm in a good place
Well, so
now.
yeah, I mean,
60th year.
well, I'll turn that around and say it's not shameful at all. What it sounds like is you were just living life day by day. And I think that's a beautiful thing because sometimes we're so busy chasing the future or what we think we should be, we actually miss out on the now. So I love the fact that you just woke up, you're playing, jumping in the pool, running around, and just living life as it should be. So that's beautiful. So then you went to college.
Went to college, studied Russian,
Where were you at
uh,
college?
upstate New York, SUNY Oswego. They had an exchange program with a language institute in Moscow. Lived in the dormitory. Went to classes. Got to travel around Russia for a while. It was quite remarkable because it was before the Iron Curtain fell, so it was still quite communist and a lot of fun. We had the best time. Now I'm not a communist, but I enjoyed being there as an American visitor. So
No, it's great. And for me, travel is my greatest passion as far as for education as well and experiencing different cultures. And I think it's, just beautiful to be able to do that. So then you come back from Russia, you graduate college. What was the next step that happened in your life?
the next step was getting a job. Pretty much went right into the workforce, basically administrative kind of office things, which is pretty much where I've stuck. Um, what was that first job? I can't even remember it now. But I've worked in a hotel. I worked for a sculpture foundry, and I worked in insurance. And now for my current most recent job, I work for a maintenance contractor, which is nothing exciting. But the thing about work for me is I don't need it to be my everything. I need it to be what gives me money so I can do what I want to do.
Yeah.
So I would rather do this somewhat boring job, but I'm good at it, and be able to travel. I went to London. You know how excited I was to go to London. So that is what I really want to do. I want to be able to do the things I want to do and not have the job be my whole life.
Yeah, there's the two sayings, some people live to work and some people work to live. And I think it's much better the second one, the one that you're doing. If there's things you love to do, then the work serves your life rather than your life. So many times in today's culture is just spending time where you live to work, which is, it's so sad and time ticks by so fast. So you end up getting married?
I was married previously, and now I'm on my second marriage, which is wonderful. Just over a year now we're married. I got married a little bit late the first go around. I was 34, which isn't very young anymore. And that was what it was for how long it was. But this is where I was meant to end up. So there was just a little detour on the way. Had a good marriage for a while, and then as things do, they go the other way. No hard feelings, just it is what it is. But then I had a little bit I was lost for a little while in the middle there. You're out of you left your home, you're on your own again. It's frightening. It's a little scary. But my friends kept telling me I was strong. I didn't believe them at first. And then it happened. I found my strength. I don't know why I didn't believe it previously. I guess I just hadn't really been tested. So, and moved out, got my own place again, got my cat. Thank goodness for my cat. He was my little rock. Um, and then eventually met my current husband, which is where I was meant to be all along.
That's beautiful.
And that strength that I told you about has come back into play.
So let's jump to that, and congratulations on again finding a marriage and relationship that allows you to be all you're born to be, and finding a partner that you can thrive with. It's crucial in every aspect of our happiness. So you find out some news
Yes.
that was, I'm sure, shocking. What led up to the point where you went to get, I guess, tested is the right word, or certainly find out what was going on? And then
Yes.
take us through that journey as to when you found out your diagnosis.
Okay. This I got. About 2.5 years ago. It was June. Of course, I remember when it was. And I had a day where my body just went against me. Things were vibrating. My body was just electric. I couldn't keep my fingers still. They were just doing this. This is me doing this. My hands are good. This is me simulating. And I was scared to death. I didn't know what was going on. Prior to that, looking back, I can see where it was creeping up, where I could see there were symptoms prior, but they didn't make any sense separately. My hands felt like I wanted to pull them off my wrists. I couldn't sleep. The electric feeling in my body. So putting all that together with 2020 hindsight, you see where it was going. Even to the point I couldn't knit my little niece's baby blanket because my fingers wouldn't cooperate with me, but I didn't know why. So the day where my body just started going like this, I called my primary care provider. They got me in. She's looking at me. She said, I'm sending you for an MRI and x-rays. Okay. Those go to the next doctor, the neurosurgeon. Neurosurgeon looks at these results saying, it's not neurosurgical. I'm going to send you to a neuromuscular specialist at another hospital. 8 weeks it took to get in to see him. Meanwhile, I'm struggling every day with worse and worse symptoms, unsteadiness, balance issues, the whole hand thing. Typing when your fingers are moving and you type like 87 E's in a row and you're just trying to write the. It was very difficult to get along in my everyday life. The symptoms of bradykinesia were terrible. I couldn't do circular motions. I couldn't wash my hair. I couldn't wash the dishes. So we get to the neurosurgeon. He does, what's the name of it? Where they test your muscles with the electrical current. He says, oh, your muscles are great. You got the muscles of a 30-year-old. I'm like, great. Then what's wrong with me? Oh, we're going to do this really expensive genetic test now to see if you have this really obscure genetic thing, which I can't remember the name of. That took another 5 weeks. The result of it took another 3 months. And at the end of it, he says, I don't know what's wrong with you. I can't help you anymore. Yeah, that was not what I wanted to hear. Oh, and he did tell me it was probably all in my head. I wrote a letter to him and his superiors telling him how disappointed I was in that diagnosis.
Were you living on your own at that point, or were you still married in your former marriage?
I was living with my current husband. We weren't married yet.
Okay, beautiful.
So thank goodness I had him for support because he's been a rock. He married me knowing I had Parkinson. So how much a better of a guy can Gary be? Seriously. No way. So turn back around. I say, all right, it's time to take my matters into my own hands and be my own advocate. So I went back to my primary. I said, you got to find me someone else. You got to send me somewhere else. So she hooked me up with, and this is not disparaging in any way, a straight, plain neurologist. No specialist, no extra specialist, I should say, because neurology is already a specialty. He looked at me, 3 minutes later, he's like, "Oh yeah, you got Parkinson's." The neuromuscular doctor told me I did not have Parkinson's. So you can imagine my surprise when finally we got the diagnosis. Sent me for a DAT scan, confirmed it. Okay. Now, you may be saying, how did you take that? I took it very stoically at first, but I did not crumble. I did not weep. I just was like, okay, what do we do now? That was what I wanted to know. And I actually told somebody, okay, I have Parkinson's. It's not going to kill me, but I'm going to have to deal with it. And I think that's my attitude, is that it's not going to kill me, but I have to deal with it. And from that point on, I started looking at things I could do. Now, the internet is a rabbit hole of rabbit holes. So you can't let yourself get sucked in too hard, but you need to do something to get yourself some information. You have to be very careful and selective of how crazy you get. But that searching for things led me to Dr. Eckel and his clinic, which I made the decision was going to be the right thing for me to go and visit, because I needed some control over things that were uncontrollable. Now, I am on carbidopa levodopa, which helped immeasurably when I first started taking it, but that wasn't enough for me. I wanted better results and longer longevity. That's a little redundant. Because I have things I want to do. I have places I need to go. I need to retire from my work so I can enjoy my life. And I want to be able to do it standing up on my own feet with my husband, traveling the world.
How can you think back and remember that first night when the neurologist just turned around and said, you got Parkinson's? And was it just really that blank out, he said, and then going to bed that night?
No, I mean, he wasn't, he was very kind about it. It wasn't like, really brutal or anything like that, but it is a brutal thing to hear. And I think it's really strange, because I thought there was no way I did have it because of the other doctor. And then to have it was a little confusing at the time. A little, well, which is it? Yes or no? And you don't want to believe that you have it. And then you don't want to call your mom and tell her, Mom, I have this genetic disease, because we did find out, sidebar, I did a gene study and found out it was genetic. We just don't know from my mom or my dad. And to tell my sister that she's got a 50% chance of getting it, you don't want to tell them that. It's terrible. You don't want to tell anybody. You don't want people to look at you differently or pityingly. You just want to be normal. You just want to have a normal day where you don't have to worry about tripping up the stairs or bumping into walls or not being able to pull your shirt on over your head because your hands aren't working today.
It sounds like it was about, 9-10 months from the day that you started having the issues to when you finally got the diagnosis.
That is exactly right.
How did you survive those? What was your thought process during that time?
It was, oh my gosh, it was just, I was struggling to live normal daily life. Like I said, I couldn't pull on a shirt, wash my hair. It was, I even driving a car was probably something I should have double thought about, because it was a little, I could feel it because my muscles were very rigid, and just the bradykinesia where my hands didn't want to cooperate. So thank goodness after that 9 months, the neurologist put me on the dopamine, and it had an excellent effect on me almost instantly. I mean, not like that day, but so thank goodness I was able to then get back to the normal function of my life. I mean, I was with my husband, but we weren't married at the time. So I was a single person. I had to go to work to support myself. So not being able to go to work, not being able to do things for myself, it wasn't fun.
Mm.
But once I got back, when the medication took effect and I was able to start functioning better, then I was able to start looking into what I could do additionally.
So you end up, and I just want to put in here, this is not a promotion for Dr. Eckel. This is for each person to come up with their own solutions. I want to make sure that we have that in here. But how did you find Dr. Eckel? What was it about his program? Because I'm sure you must have looked at a lot of different programs.
I did. I guess I reached out to watched one of his webinars and made an appointment to speak with somebody, and just felt immediately that I think that's where I'm supposed to be. I don't think it's any, I checked him out, to make sure it was real and legitimate. And I think, who did I talk to? I don't remember. And everything on their protocol made sense to me. Once I finally understood what some of them were, and it was just a gut feeling that was where I was meant to go, because I was not ready to be done living my life, not ready to sit down in a chair and give up. I never really lamented it. It stinks, but you got to take what you got, and you have to do something with your life, and not give in to the temptation of wallowing, because that would be very easy.
Yeah, there's a saying that, I love, why be the victim when you can be the hero? And sometimes it's really hard to pull up your own britches and say, it's time for me to walk the mountain. When we're feeling down, we already feel like we potentially have already lost. And yet every step forward makes you realize you're further ahead and the power that you actually have, rather than, again, being the victim of a situation when you need to become your own hero first. How important is that mindset to you before we get through the journey? What is it about you that makes you so unique in your success compared to, I'm sure, other people that you've come across that are suffering from Parkinson's or other neurological diseases?
I think it might just have to do with my natural outlook. I pretty easygoing, and I don't tend to like hold grudges or wallow, or I don't know how I want to put it. Wallow is it. I think you need to just have a positive outlook every day, whether you have neurological condition or not. And I think that helps, because I know people who will be mad at you for 3 years because of something you did. And it's harmful. It's physically harmful to you to hold that feeling. So if you don't hold that feeling, it frees you up for your body to take care of you, instead of trying to work on this emotion that makes no sense. I know people, like I said, hold a grudge for 3 years, and they're like, okay, I'm your friend again. I'm like, well, I hope you enjoyed that, because it just takes away from the joy of your life. One of my favorite words is joy. I love the word joy. And I love to give away joy for free, as Danny Rojas says in Ted Lasso. So, and I just like to have fun. I want to have fun. I act silly. I'm 60 years old, but I act like I'm 22. I just like to enjoy life, dance, sing, travel the world, enjoy my little great grandnieces and nephew, and get on the floor with them and play with them. And back to the mindset. I tell my brain it's well. I tell myself I'm well. If it's not feeling well today, I'm like, okay, you're having a little glitch, but you're going to feel good tomorrow again. Work with your brain, work with your body. Don't work against it. Let it help you. And do your exercises, which I have to get better at. And it will make you feel better. You'll be sitting in a chair. I don't want to do it. You get up, you do it, you feel good.
How much then is self-belief, positivity, believing truthfully, not making it up. This is not something that you can get better or you can do better. How much is that self-belief important in daily life?
I mean, if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else can be expected to believe in you too. So if you believe in yourself and you get everybody else believing in you, it's a group effort. It gets you up in the morning. It gets you on that treadmill. It gets you on that walk. It gets you because you believe that you are better and you're getting better. And it's not that you're getting better, you are better. You're just waiting for the results to, filter down. I love our calls on the Echo protocol. I love our 2 calls a week for the mindset and the nutrition and your class and the other class. It's a community of people who all want the same thing. They want to be their best with this disease and have the support of people who aren't there to complain. They're there to uphold, to support. And that translates to them. If you have a good mindset and positivity, it's going to infuse into the group.
Yeah, I know we become our environment. And when with a number of the Parkinson's groups that I, are partners or part of on Facebook pages, it's amazing to hear and feel the different energy of those people that have given up, which is so sad because they don't need to. And those that are living in anger and frustration, and then seeing the responses of other people, maybe in a worse condition than they currently are, and yet so positive, and the outlook. So tell me about the community with Dr. Eckel, because you become your environment. What's it like? Like, I know you just said there's people in there, they want to get better, they're willing to do the work. How important is that for yourself?
Oh, I wouldn't want to be in this house and not have that connection with somebody else who understands where you are. Your partner, your husband, they support you, they love you, but they don't know what's going on in your brain as far as your fears. I mean, you can tell them, but these people, they know what it was like to hear, oh, you have this, and they know the punch in the gut or the face that you got when you heard those words. So to have everybody together and in a positive way, I've avoided them, but I've heard some groups get together and all they do is talk about the bad things of it. We're talking about the good things that you have in your life. You get your body moving, you get your brain moving, you get the support, you get the nutrition because you're paying attention to Dr. Erica, you get the Christina with her positivity. Positive, it's everything. If you're just negative and a downer and depressed, which can happen, but you can address that as well. You can get on with your life and live it while you're working on getting your body to work with you. But I mean, you could just, like I said, get in that easy chair and never get up again. And who's losing out? Just you. So you have to
it's interesting.
get in there.
Yeah, my girlfriend has MS, was diagnosed with MS, and it was a lifestyle change for her to be as incredible as she is today. And she stopped going to being part of the groups on Facebook that were so negative, because when you're having to lift yourself up, you've got to be around those that also lift you up. You can't be around other people that are pulling you down into their fear, their worry, their lack of belief. You've got to be free to lift yourself and hold your weight. And everybody else around there supports you doing that. And seeing her change was huge, that she eliminated the negativity from her life, because that was actually the number one thing, or being around people that saw it as a life sentence was pulling her down, because you attach yourself to their mirror neurons. And I know you've got such great energy. You're so positive. You're all out. Let's get up and do this. You're laughing. You love to make jokes and play. And I truly believe that's the foundation of progress in the positive direction. I think if you don't have that as your foundation, and you can find it, even if it's not you naturally, you can decide that I'm going to face this adversity in a positive way. Through the worst of times, I will be part of a community that lifts me up so that then I can then continue to flourish and fly. What were the protocols that you went through that you really feel made a difference from where you are, or sorry, where you were to where you are today?
I enjoyed at the clinic, at Echo Clinic. I enjoyed every day was great. First of all, they are super positive, so that it's infectious.
Before you go
In
on,
a good way.
explain to me when you say at the clinic, tell us about you went to a physical location or what's going on?
Yes, Park City, Utah. It's the eVital clinic now. It was the Energy for Life, and they have a protocol of different therapies to address Parkinsonian symptoms, and the different. Now I'm just trying to remember what they all are. They're all flowing through my head. Up to and including the V-cell stem cell treatment, which was the thing that really attracted me to that protocol. But everything else, some IV therapies and red light therapies, acupuncture, sound bath for the frequencies in your body, it's all just meshed together to support the healing, to address the symptoms and the effects of the Parkinson's. I just every Monday now I think of the new people going into the clinic, and I'm like, oh, they're going to have more chance for people to live their best life again, because they're making a choice for themselves to do something instead of just waiting for I'm not sure what. So
what was the big difference that you found from when you went in, and how long were you there for? Was it a week?
It was a week.
Okay.
5 days full of therapies. My biggest symptom was fatigue. I just felt tired, all in my body, but especially in my chest. And I always just felt very like I needed to curl up and hug into myself to be comfortable. And I didn't like that at all. And it really dissipated after that week. And it has continued to, and I am much better. I sleep better. I feel better. I move better. My arm swings again. That was my husband. So I was like, "Why is your arm like that?" Because it won't move. So, and I can wash my hair again, and I can put on my makeup, and I can enjoy traipsing around London for 3 days and dancing and enjoying just life. And when I left the clinic, you do a little gong ceremony where you say what you want to accomplish. And I say, I want to see my grandnieces and nephews reach their weddings. And I want to enjoy that trip to London that I had planned that you know about. And I wanted to enjoy my 60th birthday, which was 3 weeks after I was at the clinic. And all of those things, well, the little kids are still little, but they're still growing up. But I'm reaching my goals as I've set them. So if you can have a good positive outlook, set some goals that you can reach, even if you don't feel it right this minute, it gives you hope. It gives you optimism. It gives you a reason.
I remember one of the goals that you had was, didn't you want to go to Paris?
I've been to Paris, but this last one, that was London. So
I remember you said one of your goals was you wanted to be able to go, and maybe it was London, and be able to walk around without
oh
having to use a walker, without having to use a walking stick, and explore. And for some reason, I thought it was Paris that you were working towards, but maybe it was London.
It was London because I kept teasing you about it.
Okay. So what made you think that you wouldn't be able to do that originally, and why was that such a big goal for you?
Well, it was a big goal because we were going for actually a family wedding, and I didn't want to not be able to go. But because of the fatigue and the other symptoms, I didn't know if I would have the energy to do. My now husband and I have been to London 3 times together now, and each of the previous 2 times, we walked at least 10 miles a day together. We climbed St. Paul's together. We climbed the fire tower together. We go, if it has stairs, we go up it. I didn't want to lose that. I love to explore a city on foot. And I was afraid I was going to lose that ability and that fun. And I did not lose the ability. I did not lose that fun. We had a blast. I dragged him around. He loves it. It was great. We told everybody we knew you, and they was like, "Oh, not that guy."
The jokes are coming out. They're as bad as always here, Carissa. So,
and we had a blast at my cousin-in-law's wedding in Essex, and danced the night away. So
how was that feeling? Because when you approach a target with also a, there's no definite guarantee that everything's going to be there. When we're physically in our best shape of our life, we don't even think about it. But now here you are with a goal, something that you love to do, but you're suffering from fatigue. You still have restrictions. What did it feel like for you leaving London, knowing that you had achieved all those goals?
it told me that I can keep doing that. It told me I don't have to stop. And, it's not. It's that the diagnosis is not like, okay, you have to stop what you loved and here's your new reality. It's, again, mindset. It's, if you believe that you're sick, you're going to be sick. If you believe that you're not sick, you're going to act and work towards not being sick. You're going to have your days. I get maybe a day a week where I kind of get a little bit of the fatigue in, just because I think that's how my body cycles. But like, it passes and we keep going and we keep doing our things. We do our exercises, we do our good nutrition, we do our calls with the group, because again, it lifts you up. It lifts you up to hear everybody's wins and everybody's good things that happened to them. What went well for them. And the group is not Pollyanna. It's not like, oh, everything is great. Everything is great. It's, you can share, but you share the good and the bad. But when you share the bad, it's not in a way. It's like, oh, alas, is poor me. It's like, well, I had this little stumble and then I'm going to pick myself up and keep going. It's the positive. If something's negative, you spin it to where it's going to bring you to a positive place instead of just keeping going negative, negative, negative.
Yeah, it's more like a dose of reality of what you face. And you've got to be able to share that. You've got to be able to, you can't lie to yourself, and you should never lie to others either. But I agree with you that being able to share reality with the search of a solution is very different than sharing misery and sitting there waiting for someone to save you. And I certainly feel that energy as well. Tell us about your movement, your training. How important is exercise for you, and what have you done that's really made a difference for you as well?
I tend to be. It takes me a little while to get going with an exercise regimen. When I got the diagnosis and was so tired all the time, that kind of was difficult to upkeep. I mean, I was dedicated to my treadmill and some light aerobics things. And when I got the diagnosis, everything just stopped because you just don't have the energy. You're feeling bleh. You just, and you need an inspiration to get moving again. And the getting with the groups really inspires me to get moving again. So I am back on my treadmill. It's winter here now, so really nothing going on outside. I love to walk outside, but that's not going to happen for a few months. And I do the classes with my groups, with you, and it helps. It just keeps you limber, keeps you lubricated, because the stiffness just crawls in, and you have to loosen it up.
So how important do you think for anybody listening here that's suffering from, the Parkinson fight, or someone living with someone that's going through the challenge, how important is exercise though for them to become part of a daily routine?
It is absolutely important. It's going to refresh your brain with, all the good chemicals and whatnot that you get from from exercising. And I don't know, dopamine, I don't know what all the different things in that flow up to your brain. And the whole thing with the body stiffness with the Parkinson's, it really does help. You want to be able to move your body like you need it when you need it. And if it's freezing, or that's a whole nother thing. Thank goodness I don't have that at this point in time. So I don't know how to address that. But, bumping into things, falling downstairs, falling upstairs, it really helps. It helps with the balance and the steadiness and the gait, and just being able to wash dishes in the sink, little things like that.
It's funny how the simplest things suddenly become such a big, I guess it's just a benchmark for where you are in here.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, little things, just pulling up your pants sometimes is a struggle. So being able to do that, is because you're keeping yourself limber, is helpful. Very helpful.
No, it's amazing. Let's just finish with these two things, well, actually three things. First off, tell me what your routine is that you do on a day where everything feels good.
On a day where everything, a work day or a non-work day? On a work day, I go to work. I work to get to the restroom. I have to go down 23 stairs, and then I have to go back up 23 stairs. So the fact that I can do that without panting for breath, without feeling that the fatigue, is great. At work, I work at a big facility. I do a 30-minute walk around the hallways or on the outside if it's nice weather. And then I can come home. I can cook with my husband. We can make a nice dinner. I made him a Sunday roast the other day. He was over the moon because I'm actually feeling so good enough that cooking is fun again. It's not fun when you're struggling with it. I like to cook. I am a good cook. I like to bake. I'm a very good baker. When you have no energy, when you have restrictions on your physical movement, things aren't fun. So you have a bowl of cereal because you don't feel like doing anything else. And I know that's not good for you, but, well, it can be. So when things work, you can do even the mundane of tasks. You can do your laundry. You can clean the bedroom without it being an all-day thing. So just living life big or living life normal. Travel, home life. Together you can get them done because your body is working with you instead of against you.
So do you have each day, whether it's work or a day off, I wake up at this time, as soon as I get up, I drink water or I do something and then I do that. Take us through those 16, 17 hours, because you're a shining example of success. Ultimately, There's a lot of people that are going through the challenges you are that would love to be where you are, but you didn't get there by accident and you didn't get there because you fell into it. This is a decision. So when you wake up, is the first thing you do, you think about the day ahead? Do you get up? Is there a meditation that you do? How do you approach your days that you would say, this is what I consistently do, and I trust if other people incorporated some of this, they would actually move forward?
Okay, I let's say on a work day, the alarm goes off, the cat yells at me. I take a few breaths before I get out of bed. I keep a bottle of water on my nightstand, so I get up, drink a few swigs of water, get dressed, get ready. I make breakfast, which is usually a smoothie of all sorts of good stuff. Take it to go with me. Go to work. I forgot to take my supplements, which is important part of my protocol. Different supplements. Make sure I obviously take my meds as needed, as required, and get to work. And work is work. But again, it's a big facility. I make the most of it. I use it to my advantage to get some physical work in by walking, throwing the audiobook or something and just walk around the hallways for 30 minutes. Work, come home. I'll do a treadmill run if I can, unless I have a class, then I'll usually just skip to that. Try to make a good dinner. We've been very healthy eating. Oh, my lunch, I've been making really good lunches. Learned a lot of valuable nutritional lowdown, and try to make things that key anti-inflammatory, keep the inflammation down in the body, and avoid bad things that are bad for you and eat the things that are good for you. And that's a challenge, trying to make a good lunch. We have a cafeteria, but they serve cafeteria food. You don't know what's in it. You don't know what they made it with. You make your own lunch. You've got the good oils, the good vegetables, the good grains, the whatever, and take that with it. That's a big part of what I do. And then try to make a good dinner with my husband or for my husband or together. Or I usually send him out to the grill and I do the indoor work. Again, now it's cold weather, but he still likes to go out and grill. So, and then bedtime, lay down, take a little water because we're always dehydrated. We've got to make sure we keep our brains hydrated in the night, and lay down, do a few breaths and say, thank you, brain. Thank you for working with me today. And you're feeling well, and we're going to keep feeling well.
That's beautiful. Again, consistency is key. And the education that you've got over the years of your research, like you said, you need to go and take care of this. You need to research. You can't rely on somebody else that doesn't care as much about you as you should care about you. That consistency is incredible because it is such a game changer. And you can't just rely on the drugs to correct or improve the situation. They're there to give you an opportunity to continue to function and create movement and positivity within the cells to the muscles, all the way from the brain out and back in again. What about on a bad day? And you said roughly 1 out of every 7 days you have a struggle day.
I do. I had one, was it Friday? I slept poorly the night before, and it kind of set me up for a rough day where I was just feeling really draggy, really dragged down. And you have to really push through on that one. And I do find that if you get active, it does help. So get on the treadmill, get some juices flowing. And I don't, if I'm not feeling up to doing something, I'm not going to do it. But I find that if you make yourself do things, it's usually better than trying to skip it, because you can sit around for the rest of your life and not get anywhere. Pushing yourself a little bit, unless you're going to hurt yourself or something like that. But I just deal with it and say tomorrow will be a better day, and it always is. So
Love that. I love that. So,
everybody's allowed an off day here and there.
yeah, no matter what life they're living.
Exactly.
So let's finish with this. What would, what advice would you give if there were, let's say, the top three things that you, with your experience and living daily through this progression of success and health back to living the life you want, and you've done incredible. Again, the travel, I know you're traveling off soon to the beach and living what many people don't even think is as a possibility for them. But the truth is, it can be. What are the three things that you would give as a tip to someone that's fighting or working with someone that's fighting back, that wants their health and life back?
Get involved with people who have a like mindset to you and want to be supportive and positive. Um, be active. Don't be a slug. Being a slug is easy. Being active is hard. But what is it you say? The magic lies within the work you avoid.
The magic you seek is in the work you avoid.
So just do it. That was not an ad for Nike. And I think nutrition for me, getting good stuff in your body to support your healing, because you give junk in, junk out. So, you can falter here and there. I mean, it is the Christmas holidays. You're not going to pass by every sugar cookie that you see. So, but make good choices. So make good choices with the people you are with. Make good choices with your physicality, and make good choices with your nutrition. And your body will thank you for it. And you're supporting it, so it will support you.
That's beautiful. So where are you off to? I think next week you're traveling. Tell us about that.
We are heading to St. Martin for a little week's vacation. It's our belated anniversary trip. That's where we went on our honeymoon last year as well. So we will be sunning in sand and probably having some things I shouldn't probably eat and drink, but it's a vacation. So we'll just enjoy, because that's why I'm doing this. Brain reset is to be able to enjoy my life and not just survive. I want to thrive. I want to live.
It's beautiful. And again, you think back to 2020 when you first couldn't even, going through 9 months of misery. Who would have thought from that state that you now, 5 years later, longer than 5 years later, are now going to be going across to the beach and partying and walking on the sand and jumping in the water? You're such an inspiration, Carisa. And I love your willingness to come on here and share your personal story. So thank you so much for that, because we can only take care of ourselves, not understanding the inspiration that we can be for other people just by telling our story, because not everyone has the strength, the courage, or the community within their reach to inspire them to believe in themselves. And so I just want to say thank you so much for coming on here, sharing your story, being open and vulnerable. And Ravina, it's not always easy. In fact, it's rarely easy. It's just the decision you make in life that I'm not going to give in, give up, or let something else keep me down.
Exactly. There's too much out there. I can't stop.
I am going to drop a link in here for Dr. Eccles' eVital. Again, this is not a promotion for him. If you hadn't have spoken about it, then we wouldn't be talking that. But I'm sure people will be curious just to research and research other programs as well. But like you said, find a place that empowers you to live positively through the challenge that you're going ahead. And if eVital is something that's great for somebody, that's great. But just find the right place, the right community, the right direction, because we are born to heal. We do have the potential to get better. We just have to have the right energy and the right focus with the right team.
Absolutely. And thank you for being a part of my team.
You're awesome.
Thanks for
Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day. Have a great belated or delayed anniversary. And, go jump in the ocean for me. I wish I was there.
I will do that. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.